So, since this is a short one, here's the thing to think about. The Battle of Britain was conducted, Britain was defending itself. Was Britain defending itself when it bombed Dresden? Think about it. Haviv Gur, a wonderful talker or shouter, he gave a lecture at Shalem College 2 months ago. His harangue to me is invigorating, and the students resist admirably the slightly bullying technique. A technique I use, and I wish I didn't, but I'm not paid for what I do. He is glorious in the Hitchens and Finkelstein mode, profane and ruthless and admirable. In his storytelling, he paints a picture of Palestine that I'm sure is true until it isn't. He refers always to what Palestinian elites and intellectuals think, an emerging disturbing theme in these discourses. He speaks less of the Jewish intellectual elites, maybe because he and his audience are members of this group. But the drifted intent is that the Israelis are intellectual and elite by nature, whereas the Palestinians are only led by them. My thought would be that the intellectuals and the elites are the problem in this situation, not the solution. Not that they fire the guns, God forbid, but they create the ridiculous myths the lesser citizen, quote, dies for. He comes to a super interesting conclusion, though. I cannot deny it, that Dr. King was no pacifist, that he used nonviolence to provoke violence, then had the ammunition to shame the US power elite with not living up to its advertisements about equality. This is good as far as it goes, but progress in narcissistic cultures, honesty being vital to real progress, doesn't happen by encouraging them to fix their image. It would work if they fixed themselves. They are two different things, believe it or not. Treat the African American as equally human because you said you would in some good book somewhere. Or live up to your false creed. Gestures will be made, empty ones. That takes us nowhere in this case. It seems to me that admitting to superstitions of inherent superiority, a trait which white America and mommy Europe share with Israel, and the bullshit attendant would be a good place to start. Address them. Cultures who need such toxic beliefs as supremacy to feel alive are unlikely to react to shaming usefully. If this was Dr. King's intention, his modus, it certainly didn't work, and I think he was less cunning. Until the European learns to really respect themselves, they will always disrespect the rest. It is one of the great das of history. Mr. Gur seems great fun. I wish I had been there to discuss with him, for instance, about the lack of Arab support for Palestinians, as if that would be a good idea, leading us to World War III. And I guess he is impressed by Western Christendom's support for Israel as contrast. Perhaps Islam has a cult of fix your own problems. It's good for you, not running to daddy when your nose is blooded in the schoolyard. The alliance imagined in the West is that we and our big toe in Western Asia are the good guys of history and therefore we stick together. Is the truth smeared across these ruminations like a banner? I am grateful for his honesty and clarity in saying this. He is unencumbered by the usual American hypocrisy that weighs on Biden, etc., the one his Dr. King could exploit. To say that Arab restraint in helping Palestine, given what the Iranian support provokes, is weakness, while effective on his muscle-flexing classroom might be inane. I'm not up close enough with Islam to speak for them, but he should confess at least that were Islam as supportive of Hamas as the West is of Israel, we'd all be dead long ago. The conclusion that without US military support, Israel would not exist is only true if we think Israel is a righteous belligerent. And this is how the West was won after all, manifest destiny, papal bulls and all. Perhaps he thought that Arabs taking his class would blush at the word weakness, head home and insist Iran do to Israel what Israel is doing to Gaza. Then they'd feel strong again. Then we'd have a real reckoning. As far as I can tell, the Islamic elites and intellectuals are just as capable as the Western ones of inciting and justifying lots of murdering of the non-intellectual and elites amongst them. I'd suggest we will get no further down the road of peace until the myth makers are unheeded. This has never happened in history. It really could now.